The Sikh Parade itself was started back in 1980, and it was started by one of the founders of the Yuba City Sikh Temple, which was Didar Bains. At that point in time in 1980, when it first got started, there's probably about 2,000 to 2,500 participants that participated in the Sikh Parade. And that parade, at that point in time, the route came through the entire Yuba City, pretty much on the northern end of it.
The inception or the idea behind the annual Nagar Kirtan, the Sikh Parade that's held here, every year on the first Sunday of November, was actually, it was first thought out. My father was attending a similar parade or Nagar Kirtan in Canada, in Richmond to be specific, and attended it for I think 5 years, and was like, hey, they do this here with poor weather and a congested area, we need to do this back home. The first annual parade started in 1980, but you can imagine, to go through the process the first time, getting all the permits from the city, the county, right, law enforcement, because they play a huge role in the preparations and organizing everything. It took some time the first year.
In 1980, the concept of having a large cultural parade was brought to us at the city. I worked for the Yuba City Police Department at the time, fairly new officer, but I was also assigned to a special unit for protection and other aspects of dignitaries that might be in the area. So we were used at that time to look at any special events that would be coming into town. And a very notable individual by the name of Didar Bains brought forward the proposal to have a parade in town, and was starting to catch some national attention with ABC and some other of the affiliates in the area. And it was a small but fairly organized event. 1 or 2 floats. Most of it was pulled by tractor, and at the end of the day, Didar Bains actually brought all of the police officers and public safety individuals over to the Bonanza Inn and fed them at the end of the event, kind of as a payment and a thank you. And he also then expressed the significance of what the parade meant to the community.
In the very first year, not only a lot of the members of the Sikh community quite didn't understand what the parade was for and why it needed to be coming through town, a lot of the residents weren't quite familiar with the parade itself, because you're saying we're going to bring 2,500 people. In Yuba City, you've never had a parade this big go through most of 7-8 miles of Yuba City.
So I think the importance was twofold, right? One is to be proud of who you are, right? But at the same time, it was to educate individuals, on our faith, right? That, again, we may look different, right, and have different beliefs, but, we're American, just as American as is our neighbors. You know, that we're a part of the fabric of this, you know, community, of this country. I mean, this is a melting pot. We're proud to be American, and so it was, I think, coming together as one community, right, to better understand, you know, our cultures, our faith, and our religion. I think it's important to be able to open up and express who you are, and you know, the purpose of this is really coming together, right? It's just the solidarity of you know, one community coming together for a common cause, and that cause is to spread the word. And so if you look at the early years, even every float, whatever was written on the side, whether it was God is one or true is his name, everything was written in English. And again, it was because we wanted to be accepted by our neighbors and our peers.
ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਯੂਬਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਆ, ਸੋ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਇਸ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਕੋਨੇ-ਕੋਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀਆਂ ਫੌਜਾਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਕੇ ਤੋਂ ਨਾਮ ਰਸੀਏ, ਰੰਗ ਰਤਨੀਆਂ ਰੂਹਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਦੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ, ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਤਿਕਾਰਯੋਗ ਸੋ ਰਾਗੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਸੋਹਣ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਆਏ ਆ, ਰਾਗੀ ਸਤਿਕਾਰਯੋਗ ਬਾਬਾ ਬਲਵੀਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਆਏ ਆ।
Yuba City has a lot of history as far as being the larger migration population of Sikhs throughout the United States, because Yuba City's climate and agricultural areas was similar to within the state of Punjab. So everybody's got family originally here in Yuba City. They may have come to Yuba City and moved to San Jose, Santa Clara, Bay Area, somewhere in the different states, but everybody's got ties to Yuba City. So therefore, when the Sikh Parade got started here, each and every year, the other temples would come out and help, from Live Oak, from Reno, El Sobrante. And you'd have the congregation members each year growing more and more and more. And now at this point in time, it's gotten up to sometimes around 100,000, sometimes a little bit over 100,000. The city of Yuba City's population falls right around 67,000 people. And within the Sutter County itself, where the Yuba City seat is about 110,000. So you can imagine, just within Yuba City and Sutter County, our population almost doubles for a weekend. We have people that come from out of town. We have people that come from out of state. We have people that come out from out of country. A lot of the folks do come from New York, from Canada, and even from India and London for this particular event. On that particular weekend, on that day, there's not a single law enforcement person that's off. Every single law enforcement person has to work that day. So the added cost that goes into for every single of those law enforcement is billed to the Sikh Temple. So Sikh Temple pays for the additional security. There's not a single burden on the citizens of Yuba City for taxpayers. All the additional police, all the additional fire, highway patrol, all that is budgeted within the Sikh Parade's budget. We also work with our store vendors, the food processors, the Rayleighs, the Sam Clubs, the Bel Airs, because all the groceries, all the food that you're making for 100,000 people for basically leading up to it, 3 meals a day, if not more, are all free. There's not a single charge for them. So you have people making them. All those groceries are purchased here locally. So all that sales tax stays in this community. When they're making floats, all of the wood products they're buying from the Home Depots and Lowe's all stays here. All of the hotels are sold out in Yuba City and surrounding area. That sales tax and the tourism tax stays within here. Everybody's got to get gas before they leave. That sales tax stays within here. So you take a look and saying for almost a week leading up to it, but for that 3 days, what it does for the floral shops, because everything's decorated in red roses and flowers. It basically economically helps our community with the sales tax. At one point in time, they were mentioning, as far as the hard numbers, upwards almost close to $20 million in revenue basis coming back into our community. So from the hotels, from the gas stations, from all the foods that's purchased leading up to it. It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of an event.
You know, in 1984, there was unrest in India, where there was attack on the Golden Temple. and there was, thoughts of stopping the parade from actually happening.
Didar had been over in India just preceding the assassination of Indira Gandhi, and because of his association with the World Sikh Organization, we were asked to help provide a higher level of security for him. As a result, the 1984 parade that occurred a week and a half approximately after Gandhi's assassination, we brought all of the heavy equipment that we could find, and we had to barricade off streets. And as a result of that, we had to shorten the parade route to today's length, which is about 4 miles long. But we had to use graders and dump trucks and everything else to block off streets in just a measure of precaution, security precautions, to make sure that nothing happened to any of the attendees on the parade route. I was actually Didar Baines' driver. I drove a limousine that we contained him in during that parade, and all the lead vehicles that included Mr. Baines were all being protected by SWAT teams. So there was a very closed kind of atmosphere, but there was also the Sikh community didn't feel comfortable with that, and Didar Baines didn't feel comfortable with that. He wanted to be part and out and open in the parade itself.
There's threats that were made, serious threats, but I think it was that's what it took for everybody to come together and say, hey, we're all one, right? And that's where it took off. It went to a completely different level. You went from originally, a couple thousand people to now well over 100,000 people that come to participate, volunteer, and walk, or serve, or just give back to their community. It's huge. This is a religious holy stroll, right? I mean, our thoughts and wishes are that people keep, the politics out of it, right? It's not a political platform, and it shouldn't be. Unfortunately, there's some floats that are, brought in that, do not depict who we are as a people. Unfortunately, that, you find out after the fact whenever you saw the footage, because you're participating and you're walking behind the scripture like we're ordered to do, as Guru Manu Granth, that we're gonna, that we're following the scripture, and the next day you turn on the TV or you see it on YouTube or wherever, and you're like, what was that? I mean, because this is supposed to be 100% positive, peaceful. It's not a protest. It's not, it's a holy stroll where the procession is supposed to be singing religious hymns, listening to our priest, or, there's world-renowned Ragis and Kathalogics, that come here every year, from all around the world. And, the best of the best, they come to participate, to sing those religious hymns for us. We should just, not just sit back and participate, but enjoy, just listen, take it in, right? And, we're born to stand out, but be respectful. The most important thing is that there are people watching, obviously, over 100,000 of them, at least, that participate, but folks at home too. And I hate for somebody to get the wrong impression by just one person trying to send some kind of political message. Guru Nanak has laid out 3 golden rules, which is Kirt Karni, Naam Japana, and Varn Chakra. And that is to live an honest and hard-working life, right? To be forever thankful and grateful, to God who's given it to us, and to be able to share with others, share with those in their community that are in need. But I mean, it's very simple, concept, right? I mean, some of it's so simple as there's quotes of before being Christian, Muslim, or Sikh, be a human being first, right? And just be a good neighbor, be a good person, treat others with respect, the way you'd like to be treated. So in the time, that you either converted to Islam or you were killed. So our gurus were the ones that made it, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who was the founder of the Sikh faith, our first disciple, our first guru, he was all about equality in a time where, women and men weren't thought of as equals, right? He was born in a Hindu household where there's, multiple, gods, which at, some point somebody could create a lot of confusion, right? And came out with the concept of Ik Onkar, which is there's one God. And it is a very young but, universal faith.
When we live in this community, the Sikh concerns are concerns of every other resident. I mean, Sikhs are members of this community. So whether you have I always say whether you have a pothole, we're not calling a Republican or Democrat or Sikh to come fix it. We're calling Public Works to come and fix it. Whether there's crime issues, it doesn't matter what type it is. I mean, we're all citizens of this community. But one of the things that we do plan ahead of time, and you start planning months and months in advance, is for the Sikh Parade. And that's where the city of Yuba City, the county of Sutter, the police department, the highway patrol, the sheriff's department, all the law enforcements, we all work together to plan this yearly event, because it's no small task to handle 100,000 people as visitors, plus the 30 or 40,000 on the north end of town that are an inconvenience because some of the roads are blocked off. But we make sure that we can open the roads immediately after the parade. There's a group of people that volunteer their time and their service, and immediately after the parade they pick up all trash from the street. So you will come back the next morning and you'll realize that the streets are a lot cleaner than they were before the parade, and you will not even notice that there was a parade in town. That's how clean and everything's done so efficiently and so quickly, because this is our community.
People are wanting to understand, hey, the whole misconception, when they see somebody with a beard and turban, you automatically associate them with, Islam, and that's not true. 99% of the people wearing turbans are Sikh, right? So it's important for us to educate our neighbors, to say, hey, look, this is who we are, these are our beliefs, and but it's important for folks to actually get out and to show a presence, get involved, whether it's on city council, whether it's supervisorial opportunities, or whether it's the PTA, whatever, County Board of Education, get out there and give back. There's a number of ways you can give back to the community. If it's either your time, your talent, your treasure, but give back. Leave something behind for the next generation, something they can be proud of. Our ancestors came here and they laid a foundation for us. They gave us these opportunities. If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for this annual parade, I don't know if we would be welcome you know, in this community. We might look different, but I'll tell you, these people that are walking down those streets, they're as patriotic or more patriotic than you are. If you have a chance to come out, you know, like I'm saying, here in Yuba City, this annual parade takes place on the first Sunday of November every year. If you can't make it this year, try next year. It's easy. Put it on your calendar because it's an amazing event. And watching it from your couch isn't quite like watching it in person.
A lot of temples have tried to mirror what Yuba City does, but none have been as successful as Yuba City. Like I said, we've got the footprints here. Each and every year, the people always come back to Yuba City because this is kind of like the little India, and they want to pay tribute to this parade here, this temple here, which was built in 1969. It's probably one of the third oldest Sikh temples in the state of California.
Once you've seen it, I mean, you don't want to miss it again.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you're intrigued to come out and see and participate, and you know, it's more than just trying the food and watching the fireworks, right? It's Sunday, walking down, you know, the parade route, you know, shoulder to shoulder with these folks, you know, reciting the religious hymns, right? It's such a surreal time, you know, that where you truly feel blessed to have been able to participate, right? Pray together, you know, be proud of who you are, right? And walk through town in vast numbers like that. I mean, it speaks volumes.
It's interesting because leading up to it, now that this has been going on for so many years, all of the vendors know ahead of time that the Sikh Parade is coming. So they will bundle up on water. They'll have pallets and pallets of water. They'll have milk. They'll have flour. They have sugar. All of the cauliflower, because everything, all of the meals are prepared at the temple, are prepared there fresh. They're all vegetarian meals. And so they will all stock up on all vegetarian vegetables because they're all used at the temple for the meals. You know, like I said, I mean, they serve, you know, so many meals there, and they're all free. And everybody's welcome to come to the temple during the parade, before the parade, and even on the parade route. It's all about service and giving. You have so many members of this community, members of the outside community that would give them out soda, that would give them out water, that have food stalls. Doesn't matter what type of food you have, as long as it's vegetarian, people are giving it away free. And I've always recommended, if you've never ever visited a Sikh Parade, if you've never ever been to Yuba City, then everybody should come to Yuba City at least one time and take part in the Sikh Parade. And then you'll really know why Yuba City is so rich in its culture and so diverse in its people. And that's why we call it home.